Before we begin our commencement, I would like to perform a small ceremony with the students, and I will speak in Vietnamese because it is so important for all of us. Các em sinh viên thân mến, các em hãy cùng với cô chúng ta thực hiện một cái nghi thức hết sức quan trọng ngày hôm nay. Các em hãy đứng dậy, tất cả các em sinh viên, hôm nay các em hãy đứng dậy. Các em hãy quay người lại hướng về phía ba mẹ và người thân. Các em hãy cúi đầu cảm ơn ba mẹ với tất cả những công lao trong suốt bao nhiêu năm qua. Ba mẹ là lá chắn che chở suốt đời con. Hãy cúi xuống và cảm ơn ba mẹ và người thân.
So, good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, family, and friends. I am Phan Thục Anh, a co-designer and major in economics, and also the former president of the Fulbright Student Council. It is my honor to have my friends' endorsements to stand here to share some thoughts with you today. First and foremost, we, the students, the sons and daughters, would like to send our dearest thanks to every one of you sitting here today. Because without you, we could not have made this far. And we also thank those of you who are not here today, especially the founding faculty and the former staff who have accompanied us in our undergraduate journey. Okay, friends, let's start. Honestly, I thought I already submitted my last paper to Fulbright, but turns out I still got this one. Fulbright never stops to amaze me. So let's start with the printings on my arms. Okay, so when people meet me, they often stare at my arms and get curious of what the printings or the tattoos on my arms even mean. There are two questions. What have you done? And what are you doing? It's not like when you do something disastrous and someone asks, what have you done? But it's more like a gentle reminder. And this little reflection exercise helps me to be fully aware of my past thoughts, actions, and their impacts on my lives and others. So, as we are standing at an important milestone of our lives today, I hope it is a good chance for us to answer those two questions together. So question number one, what have we done in the past 4 to 5 years? First, we have taken leadership in experiencing and building the first liberal arts college, independent liberal arts college in Vietnam. So choosing to attend the Fulbright co-design year is already the first act of leadership. And in 2018, the 54 students who come to Fulbright to co-design an ideal liberal arts college for Vietnamese students, we could have chosen a more conventional path, but we chose the vision of reimagining higher education in Vietnam. And unless you chose Fulbright with your eyes closed, that decision means that we have enough willingness to take risk, enough community-mindedness, and enough boldness to engage with a new concept that we thought would have a huge impact on our lives and others. What is even greater is that we did not simply endorse the idea, but we actually helped to turn that idea into a reality. And even when today's programs have changed quite a bit from the co-design product, but we already helped consider the key questions about the university's initial design and set the stone for its further development. The characteristics of leadership are also reflected in how we navigate changes. So as Fulbright grows, it must endure fundamental changes in its organization. We have gone through changes in class size, degree requirements, personnel, leadership style, and even COVID disruption, right? But then, perhaps the students are the ones who feel the changes the most. And like Thầy Ryan, our former chief academic officer, once said, the process at Fulbright is similar to a roller coaster, full of ups and downs and twists. So if you observe a roller coaster ride, you will see different types of people. The one, the pale face, the screaming, the dead silent, like they cannot talk anymore, and those who sit back and relax, and those who yell in excitement, yay, hooray, and sing. And actually, we had them all here. We might be laughing at it right now, but at that time, it was not easy for us. We were confused, a little bit exhausted, frustrated, and some of us thought of giving up, really. But friends, if we are here today, we have persevered to the very end, and we have won ourselves. And some of us even stood up. They took leadership, they initiated solutions, and they volunteered for the common good of the school. And if that is not an example of leadership, then I don't know what is. Okay, so second, we have cultivated the minds of liberal thinkers. So I guess the majority of us experienced a somewhat more conventional education back in high school, where we memorized and repeated. Then we came to Fulbright. We were asked to unlearn everything and unwire our brains. And that was what Megan told us was transformative learning, or shifts in ways of knowing and perspectives. So when we came here, we started to look at the world from not only one, but from multidisciplinary perspectives. We started to ask fundamental questions. What is good? What is true? What is moral? And even when we are sure that something is true, Thầy Kinho would just ask, are you really sure? And once we have broken the wall of conventions and norms, we started to see the world as it is, and we become independent thinkers. So why does that matter? It matters that we become independent thinkers because great thoughts set the stage for great actions. We cannot be the game changers if we do not know how the game is ruled. We cannot be the pioneers if we cannot see the untold. And we cannot save the forest if we cannot see the forest for the trees. So the mindset of liberal thinkers we have built here at Fulbright will help us in achieving whatever wild dreams we hold for the future. Third, we have built the resilience of a fighter. Parents, I know that you often say that, what is so hard about college? You just eat, sleep, and then you learn. What's so hard? And then, in reality, moms and dads, our souls were captivated by the 100-page reading, 5,000-word essays, quizzes, and not to say teamwork assignments. For senior students especially, the reality is in another dimension, because by the third and fourth year, the school started to look at us, hey, and then whisper, Hey, it's time to declare your major. And capstone. Oh, yes, your career as well. So besides studying, we also did research, internship, projects. Even some started up their own companies. And we did all kind of work for our academic and professional development. And friends, we did all of that while we ride a roller coaster. Then, as if our training at Fulbright was not intensive enough, we got to go to military training. Honestly, like the 3-week-long military camp felt like forever, but in the end, it truly showcased the undeniable resilience of this student group. Had we not taken this camp, we would never know that these students can go for jogging for 25,000 steps a day just as well as they read 1,000-page assignments. Had we not climbed the Mount Daiban together, we would never be able to test the spirit of collaboration that we often brag about. And had we not passed the free alerts, friends, we would never know how strong our nerves can be. So, again, if we are present here today, after we almost crossed the boundaries, our boundaries, we have built within ourselves the spirit of fighters. Okay, so far we have done 3 things. We taken leadership, we have built the mind of liberal thinkers, and we have built the resilience of fighters. So what are we doing now? Question number 2. Now, we are graduating as the first cohort of the first independent liberal arts college in Vietnam. With the skill sets that we have built at Fulbright, we are going to the world becoming researchers, scientists, engineers, artists, business people, and you can name it. And as the first cohort of Fulbright, we will be the living examples of what a liberal arts education can bring to society. And as the first cohort also, we are expected to be pioneers and leaders in the field that we work in. But we should not forget that we are the first, but we are not the best. And we will never be. So keep hustling, growing, adapting, and learning. Also, while we are doing different great things out there in the world, we should not forget the small things. Cook a meal for your family, help some strangers, do your chores, water your plants. So whatever we are doing, big or small, I hope that we choose to do good. Because what we are doing and what we have done will become part of history. What we have done and what we are doing will stay forever, just like my tattoos. So do good for yourself and for others, repeat, compound daily, and I believe that great things will follow. So thank you for the last 5 years. I am grateful that the military camp did happen because it was our last chance to live, cry, and laugh together. And before we are off to the world. So congratulations and see you out there at Fulbright Cohort 2023.
Thank you for the mess. Because in the mess, that's where the magic is. The magic is in the mess. And so what you did together in creating, or through very difficult, sometimes very difficult circumstances, whether it's COVID or changes, and mess is a mess. But that was an essential what has helped us sort of navigate how we might reimagine engineering.
And ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty members, honored guests, and most importantly, the incredible graduates of Fulbright University Vietnam's class of 2023 and families. What an honor for me to be here today with you for the commencement of the very first undergraduate class of the Fulbright University Vietnam. I want to begin by offering my most heartfelt congratulations to all the members of the class and to your parents and families who supported you, and in doing so, supported our young startup university along the way. And to the students, I agree with Thục Anh. You were very brave to bet your future on this young university. Xin chào các ba mẹ, phụ huynh và gia đình của các em sinh viên chuẩn bị tốt nghiệp của khóa 2023. Tôi xin tỏ lòng ngưỡng mộ sự can đảm của các anh chị khi gửi con mình vào một trường đại học còn non trẻ. Từ khi ngôi trường còn chưa hình thành và đến bây giờ vẫn chưa xây xong ngôi trường của mình. Và sự can đảm đó đã nhận được kết quả tuyệt vời là các em sinh viên đã sẵn sàng tốt nghiệp và được chuẩn bị tốt với những kỹ năng để biết cách nắm lấy các cơ hội và không ngần ngại trước các thách thức trong tương lai. Okay, you won't be hear me speaking Vietnamese today anymore because Fulbright was worried that my Huế accent will not be easy enough for you to understand. Today, I want to share with you 3 personal stories. The first story is about realizing unrealized dreams. I want to start with my father. My father was born in 1952, during the wartime. His father, which is my grandfather, was sent to the north of Vietnam before my father was born. And my father never saw his own father again. My father was able to make to the top high school in Huế, but he couldn't finish the high school because of the mobilization during the war in Vietnam. His family experienced many scars of the war. His father died in the north before the unification, and his sister was severely injured and lost a leg during the war. And there's a bomb that exploded near my father's house, and if it's closer, I would not be able to be here to talk to you. My father had many unrealized dreams. I was born in 1982. War was already a distant past, and Vietnam started to recover from the wars. When I was a kid, my father had a simple dream. It was for me to finish the high school that he couldn't finish and have a college degree. Somehow I got very lucky and I exceeded the dream of my family. I graduated from the high school that my father attended and went on to have a PhD at Stanford exactly 10 years ago today. I am now working at Google and on the cutting edge of AI and artificial intelligence, a field that has the potential to transform humanity. Like any journey, I experienced struggles and failures. Here are some examples. Any of you here went to gifted schools? Please raise your hand if you did. Oh, that's great. You know what? Me too, but I got kicked out of the math class in my high school for the gifted. That was my first failure, but it's not the only. I then failed the first English exam to get into the university in Australia. And my first project in robotics I did at Stanford was such a failure that I almost gave up my PhD because I was not good enough for it. And my first 2 projects at Google was also ended in failure because my engineering skills were limited. In those hard moments, I always remind myself how lucky I am compared to my father. I was born in the time of peace. I never had to wake up in the middle of the night, hearing gunfire and bombs. I never had to struggle to make ends meet. Feeling lucky and being optimistic gave me the strength and courage to pursue ambitious projects despite the failures. After living Fulbright, you will soon recognize that life is filled with ups and downs. And in Vietnamese they call it đời không như là mơ. You might have to face many obstacles. Try to make the best out of it. Find opportunities in those challenges. Try to make the best of it. For example, here's an example. I went to the Australian National University for my undergraduate. This is a story that I also shared yesterday to some of the students. I chose it because the name was so impressive, Australian National University. But the expertise is in research, not for undergraduate education. So I was very bored. This is the big obstacle for me, but it also gives me an opportunity. I remember the homework at my university was probably easier than the ones you had at Fulbright. And the easy homework gave me time to explore research and the time to do research with the faculty there. And the research work I did at the university gave me the platform to my current career's trajectory. In telling you this story about realizing unrealized dreams, I want to give you optimism about the future, even though the world has seen many challenges in the past few years and will in no doubt face more challenges in the years to come. Like myself, by having the college degree, you already realized the dreams of many generations of Vietnamese. But remember, just because you have completed this important phase of your education, you should not stop learning, regardless of whether or not you decide to continue formal education after graduation. If you ever struggle, remind yourself that the previous generations had a much more difficult time than ours. That will give you strength. The second story is about my own journey in AI and my reflection of how AI will impact the world and especially your generation. I also want to tell you a little bit about how I got started in my journey of AI. When I was a child, I wanted to grow up and work on something important. So I asked myself, what should I do? What should I work on? And one day, I saw a picture of Neil Armstrong taking his first steps on the moon. I was amazed by this image and by this achievement of humanity. I wonder why we were the first to reach the moon. After all, we were not the fastest animals, we were not strongest, and we could not even fly. Then I realized that we were able to reach the moon because we are smart. We are so smart that we built machines to fly to the moon. I dreamed of building intelligent machines so that I can advance humanity. These machines will be our final invention in my dream because they would help us create new inventions at an exponential rate. Little did I know that the field of study that would make this possible was called artificial intelligence. That very dream that had taken me away from my hometown in Hue, Vietnam, through a journey to Australia, Germany, and the United States. Fast forward today, I have been working on the field of AI for over 20 years, and I'm still inspired by the potential of this technology to make the world a better place. I believe that AI can revolutionize many aspects of our lives, from healthcare to transportation to education. For example, AI-powered machines could be used to diagnose diseases more accurately or more efficiently than our human doctors. For example, AI is already being used to evaluate medical imaging in order to detect cancers. My own uncle, died from cancer 20 years ago. because he was diagnosed too late. Had AI been used more widely to detect cancer, my uncle would have survived. AI can also address some of the world's most pressing problems, such as poverty. AI can be used to help farmers respond to rapid changes in agro-ecosystem, such as changes in water, availability of pests, and increased crop yields, for example. And yes, AI would definitely have exciting applications in the field of education too. AI is already being used to provide personal and learning solutions to students, including those with special needs. It can be used to help students in the poor or remote areas to access learning opportunities that denied them in the past. But the Fulbright professors who are gathered here today should not worry. I do not expect machines will ever replace the invaluable role of a dedicated human teacher and mentor. And to all the students in the audience, any of you who have used ChatGPT for your homework, raise your hands. You are very brave. I'm sure on this special day, your professor will forgive you for whatever you did with ChatGPT. Okay, I do not think that AI can relieve you of the need to study and write papers. Believe me, I tried to get ChatGPT to write this commencement speech. And the results were, well, let's just say I decided to use my own words. However, I also believe that AI will create many challenges in our society. We are indeed in a historic moment. What does it mean to have machines that are smarter than us? And what does it mean to be no longer the most intelligent species on this planet? Those are the fundamental questions that we will have to deal with in the coming years and decades. Also, there are many aspects of AI that are different from the previous transformational changes. One is speed. Recent breakthroughs like ChatGPT were not even imaginable just a few years ago, including people like myself. And in the near future, innovations that make worldwide headlines today will soon be rendered hopelessly obsolete. With previous technologies like the combustion engine, electricity, or nuclear fusion, humanity had many decades, if not centuries, to adapt and learn. Time is a luxury that we can no longer afford. This means that dislocations and disruptions that all technologies bring about are likely to be more abrupt and disorienting for our society. But a unique feature of AI is that it's an open field that open to all players. And all those giant companies like my own work on pouring billions of dollars into AI. The next breakthrough can come from anywhere. And that make AI a more powerful and a force for good and for ill. And in AI, you will have access to very powerful technology. I hope that we can take advantage of AI. You can take advantage of AI in giving this generation and countries like Vietnam a new opportunity. And I hope my generation and next generation will use it for the force of good. And I believe that we'll be able to navigate all the challenges that AI will present us. The third story is about the significance of FUV to me and to the future of Vietnam. For me, the journey with FUV is a journey into my heart. 6 years ago, my wife and I had our first daughter. My wife and I named her Victoria, with the initial V to remind ourselves of Vietnam and our motherland. Victoria is in the audience today. Compared to my father and myself, Victoria is going to have a much better foundation for her life. Instead of going to a village school like myself and my father, she will experience the world's best education. This is what I always dream about for my kids. It is the same dream that my father had for me. But I also feel something is missing. Growing up in the United States, there is a risk that Victoria will never know about my father's story, will never understand our roots, our culture, and what it means to survive the war, what it means to experience the happiness of Tet, what is the meaning of the tale of Hiếu. I am sure I'm not alone in harboring these anxieties about my child. In fact, I suspect that the parents in the audience today may have already felt similarly as they sent their children to study at a young university named after a deceased American politician. Around 10 years ago, I first met Tommy Vallely and Madame Dambatui. They shared with me their ambitions for FUV. I must admit, I was first skeptical, but after I learned about their vision, I began to share their passion. First, Fulbright is dedicated to creating opportunities for young people who, like my younger self 20 years ago, dream of finding new ways to contribute to humanity through technology or in other ways, such as through public policy, entrepreneurship, or the arts. Second, Fulbright education seeks to ensure Vietnamese do not forget where they came from and what makes Vietnam unique. This became clear for me when I observed very impressive Vietnamese studies courses at Fulbright. And I hope that one day Victoria, my daughter, will be able to take such classes at FUV to learn more about our past, our future. And this is why I am very excited about FUV. Fulbright is important for me in part because it resonates with the personal stories I have shared with you today. And beyond that, I believe the education Fulbright offers is what Vietnam and the Vietnamese students need. In a time of rapid changes in technology in general and in AI in particular, having a broad knowledge, knowing how to learn, how to adapt, how to work with others, and how to communicate are vital skills to adapt and navigate the modern world. In addition to your education, your experience helping to build an institution that quite literally did not exist when you joined us 5 years ago will serve you very well in the unpredictable world that we live in. It is why I'm confident you will not only adapt to what the future holds, but will help to shape it. I hope you are very proud of the important part that you have played in creating this exciting new institution. Being part of the most exciting education project in Vietnam, and because Vietnam is the most exciting country in the world, so this is the most exciting project in the world. I wish I could receive your education and your experiences, and I hope my daughter Victoria will benefit from it in the future. They say that the best commencement address is a short address, but I fear I have already gone for too long. Thank you and congratulations. Good luck. I know you will all achieve great things. Xin chúc mừng.